So, my friends, welcome to a new Mind of People update video. The pre-sale is still ongoing here, and in my opinion, it's going very, very well. I think the last updates we did were at around 2 or 3 million in pre-sale revenue. By now, we're at 9.3 million in revenue. However, the pre-sale will already end in just 16 days. That's why I'm giving you another short and snappy update for everyone who's still interested. At the moment, the market phase is good again. The last few weeks were absolutely terrible when it came to altcoins, meme coins, and pre-sales. But now, because Bitcoin is back over 100,000 US dollars, the altcoins are really picking up. There's a bit more money in the market. As a result, these pre-sales are also picking up a bit, and that's why I'm making this current this current video about it. Wow, I almost stumbled over my words there, but whatever. Everything that happens is recorded here. Otherwise, before we get started, feel free to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and also join the free Telegram Talk and Signal group. You'll find the link for that below in the video description. All right, let's get started. We still have 246% staking premium here. You know I'm not a fan of it. Still, for the sake of completeness, I just wanted to show you this now. 246%. Whether it's still worth it is something everyone has to judge for themselves. In my opinion, or to be honest, if I were you, I just wouldn't do it. Especially not when the pre-sale ends in 16 days. Then this return isn't worth it. It would have been, I always say for every pre-sale, if it's still pretty new, then you can give it a try. Maybe put 50% in and 50% not into staking. But now with just 16 days left to somehow go for staking premium here, we don't know how the pre-sale will turn out. Will it be a complete flop? That's the risk with all these meme things. We'll see how it turns out. Then there's the tech map, which is basically, in the end, the roadmap. Here is just called the tech map. We have token provisioning here. The idea is that as an AI agent on Twitter, it should also interact with people, with influencers or whoever else. I think that's pretty nice. And there's a holder exclusive alpha where, at least from how it looks here, trading signals are supposed to be provided in the end. I'm curious to see if it will actually turn out the way it's described here, because I always find things like that interesting. You know, there are never really any 100% guarantees, whether it's a pre-sale or trading signals. Those just don't exist. Anyone who tells you otherwise, I don't know, but it's definitely not going to work. But still, it's not a bad idea to take a look at things like this from time to time, mainly because most of the time these things do well at the beginning, and then after that it just goes downhill and everyone loses money. You have to be that honest, of course. CoinSalt is still included. This is important for everyone participating in the pre-sale. Here you have the contract address, which you'll ultimately need to enter in order to actually receive the tokens and everything else. So that's also extremely important. Otherwise, as I said, you'll find all the important information at CoinSalt. Of course, there's also Solid Proof does, which in my opinion contains another detailed update. We also have here pretty much everything that's ultimately available at CoinSalt as well. In my opinion, though, this thing isn't as meaningful as other pre-sales we've already looked at. So always be a bit more cautious here. Definitely. Of course, there's also a white paper. All of that, everything right on the first page. You can read through the tokenomics here. It's not really a meme token, but they definitely incorporate the meme narrative here, which in my opinion isn't a bad thing at all. We had a pre-sale starting price of 0.031, and it will end at 0.038. And then if we go back to the page, we can see for ourselves that the current pre-sale price is 0.0037. So the question is it really still worth getting in now? You really have to be convinced that this thing is actually going to the moon, making 100 or even 200% so that you can actually make your money back here. Everyone has to decide that for themselves. We introduced the project relatively early on when the conditions were still different. Back then, you could handle a 20 or 30% dump at the beginning and still get back to the pre-sale price. These are always things you have to weigh up. If you still want to get in now, you really, really need to think it through at this point. Otherwise, is there anything else important? Actually, no. Down here you have all the information again. You can now also switch to German, which makes life so much easier than always having everything only in English and so on, you know. But otherwise, there's little that's new here. The tokenomics are here again as well. You can read through it in the white paper, but you can also buy here in the end. It's explained to you here again, but otherwise there's really not much new at this point. Of course, you can also follow on Twitter or join the Telegram group. That's where you'll get the updates. I especially think Twitter is important for these kinds of pre-sales because that's where it will be announced again. okay, when will the pre-sale actually end? Exactly, when can you get your tokens? But of course, there's also the Telegram group, which now has over 5,200 members. Otherwise, feel free to share your opinion and write in the comments, are you invested? Will you invest? What's your approach? Will you sell everything instantly as soon as the pre-sale is over or when the listing happens? I'm looking forward to your comments. Otherwise, I'd say we'll catch up again in the next video. I wish you a great weekend at this point, and that's it from me. Until then, ciao, ciao. And as always, stay crypt.